listening to B2B Tech Talk with Ingram Micro, the place to learn about new technology and technological advances before they become mainstream. This podcast is sponsored by Ingram Micro's President's Club, where winners are made. All right, let's get into the show.
Welcome back to B2B Tech Talk. Today we are at Ingram Micro's U.S. Sales Kickoff in Buffalo, New York. My name is James Carbary. I'm one of the producers of the show, and I'm joined today by Kirk Robinson, the Chief Country Executive at Ingram Micro U.S. Kirk, how are you doing today?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
I'm really excited to chat with you, Kirk. People have been saying great things about some of the things that you've been sharing in your sessions. In your keynote that you did, I think it was a few months ago at the Best of Breed conference, you said that in this industry, you have to get comfortable being uncomfortable. Can you talk to us about that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think in our industry, the rate of change happens so quickly from technology and the need to continue to progress that you have to find a way to be comfortable even when you're uncomfortable, whether it's learning a new technology, taking on a new role, getting up on stage and speaking, whatever it is, you have to find a way to be comfortable because that's how you grow.
Yep, I love it. And Susan did a fantastic job in her session getting up on stage.
Absolutely.
In her full leather outfit.
Yes.
We talked
very proud of her.
We talked to her about that in another episode. Really cool to see folks from the team really embracing this idea of getting comfortable, being uncomfortable. You've talked also about how innovation isn't just about technology or software, but it's really about creatively trying to figure out how to help partners run their business more effectively. What are some of the ways that you've seen this happen and seen it play out?
Yeah, I would say for us, it's channel financing. Our finance team has done a phenomenal job of being very creative, listening to our customers, to their needs, and then developing the right financial programs to help them grow. So an example would be Direct Express, where we're basing the credit worthiness off of the end user, because sometimes our partners may win a deal that's larger than their credit line, and we don't ever want them to say no to business. So by using an alternative financing program, Ingram is still in the background. It allows our partners to win more large deals and find ways to fund the deals.
Can you talk to us, Kirk, about kind of the thinking behind how you guys ended up developing a program like that? What led you guys to that?
Well, I think when we were public, we were always creating new programs, but when we went private, it gave us a little more flexibility in our approach to what the customer's needs were and how we could use our position being private, using our balance sheet, et cetera, to go out there and develop these different programs, and it's been received very well.
Kirk, you said in your session earlier today that as it relates to either your career or selling specifically, you have to play chess when everyone else is playing checkers. How has this played out in your career?
Yeah, I think when it comes to careers, we talk about it these days about the difference between the ladder and the lattice, and how do you reach your desired goal. For me, I actually read an article years ago about the CEO of Nokia taking his top 4 people and rotating them through each other's positions. And the feedback from those individuals on what they learned, I was blown away. And at that point, I'd been in sales my whole life. I went to my boss and said, I want to learn more about Ingram. Put me in another department. I'll learn for a year or so and come back. So I ended up going into marketing. It ended up being 6 years because there were so many opportunities. But that was a big signal to me to take risks and go out and look at taking lateral moves and moves out of your comfort zone. Yeah. And so far, it's paid off.
Yeah. You also talked in your session about how there's really only 2 paths when it comes to your career. You can take the path toward fear or the path toward courage. And it sounds like by playing chess, it kind of forces you into taking that path toward courage.
It really does. You're not going to play chess and be successful at it if you're fearful.
Yep.
You have to have that strategy. And when you have a strategy, there needs to be built-in risks that you recognize. It's like everybody says, when you build a business plan, it all changes the day you start your business, right? So it's no different in a career, and you're always going to be faced with fear and courage, and I think it's more exciting to take the courage route.
Yep, I totally agree. So Kirk, to truly help partners run their business more effectively, you've got to proactively ask the right questions. Can you talk about some of the questions that Ingram asks their partners in an effort to better serve them?
Sure. I think at the very base, you have to know the business of that customer. And the way to do that is to ask and to have a conversation around it. What we're finding is there's no one definition of a customer. Very few people respond to us and say, I'm a VAR, and that's it. And when they say, I'm an MSP, we've built into our system the ability to go further down and say, what percent of your business? Some might say 3%, some might say 93%. Those are two different business models, so we need two different conversations. Then it's about what type of services, break fix, professional, managed, cloud. So it's really the continued journey of learning more about your customer, where they're going, and how you can help them get there.
Something you said there, Kirk, that I really like is you're proactively asking those questions, but you're also building systems and structure around making sure that you guys are asking those questions over and over and over again. I think that's really, really smart.
Definitely.
So I want to shift into our Fast Five. So I'm going to ask you 5 rapid fire questions, Kirk, and I'm excited to hear what you have to say about them. The first one is, what does One Ingram mean to you?
One Ingram to me means bringing the collective forces of Ingram Micro to our partners to show them everything we can do for them to help them grow their business and solve their customers' needs.
What's coming up in 2020 with Ingram that you're really excited about?
Oh, a whole lot. I think it's the continuous change of technology. And when you just go out there and research what's coming down the pipe in technology, AI, 5G, RPA, robots, all the different things that can apply to so many different verticals, I think it's all very exciting.
It's specifically around technology. Elaborate on some of those new and exciting things in technology that you're really excited about in 2020?
I think for me, it's IoT. And a few years ago, it was very nebulous, right? The Internet of Things. It was like the early days of cloud. Trying to put your finger on it can be difficult at times. Now I think we're seeing solutions in multiple verticals that are just showing everybody the potential of what technology can do and how it can help customers and end users be more efficient, cost efficient, and be more profitable.
Got it. Any specific kind of use cases of IoT that have popped out for you?
Yeah, we hired somebody who had a solution for Disneyland, and they solved, as you know, the garbage men go around Disneyland and they have a route. Well, what they do is they put sensors on the cans. So instead of just doing a usual route, they now know which cans are overflowing. So instead of having overflowing trash at your park, they now have an iPad, and they can, instead of doing a usual route, now they go to where the garbage needs to be cleaned up. So something that may seem mundane means the world to Disneyland, right? Happiest place on earth, can't be dirty.
Yep. Nope. Totally agree. What were some accomplishments in 2019, Kirk, that you and your team are really proud of?
I think it was really getting the buy-in from the team to take that deeper dive in with our customers. And what we saw come out of that, before this event, I asked for some success stories, and I was completely overwhelmed with stories of how we went back to One Ingram and pulled different people from different departments that then helped solve our customers' needs. So I would say the primary was us starting to better understand the customer, and we have a ways to go to really completely separate ourselves, but that's the goal. Technology grew in multiple areas. Our cloud business, we invested early on, and we invested heavily, and we're starting to see that come to fruition. Our cloud sales are booming right now.
All right, I want to close with a final question, something that I've got a sneaking suspicion that you're really passionate about this topic based on how a lot of this conversation has gone. But what can partners do to create an incredible customer experience for their customer?
I think it just rolls downhill. they need to understand the needs of their customers and how technology can solve their needs. And that's when they lean on a partner like Ingram Micro and all the resources that we have. So it's the same game going downstream. They have to know their customers at an intimate level if they're going to be that trusted advisor.
Can you elaborate a little bit, Kirk, on, you guys have obviously had to do this at a much larger scale than I would imagine a lot of your partners, but you guys have figured out a way to systematically understand your partners better, and how can your partners then go about doing that for their customers?
Well, some of it comes back to knowing what Ingram Micro has to offer you. It goes back to, we don't ever want a customer saying no to a deal. And in order for that to happen, and it can be oftentimes the hardest job we have, is letting our partners know everything we can do. Whether it's professional services where they win a deal, but it's the 1,000-store rollout and they don't have the bench work.
Yeah.
That's where Ingram comes in. It could be any type of financial solution that may seem daunting. That's when you bring Ingram Micro. You may need a bench of field technical engineer who's certified in a certain vendor. That's where Ingram Micro comes in.
So it really starts with knowledge and knowing what's available to you.
Absolutely.
And then with that knowledge,
get to know your customer needs and get to know all the solutions and services that Ingram can bring to you.
I love it. Kirk, thank you so much for your time. This has been incredible. I really appreciate it.
You've been listening to B2B Tech Talk with Ingram Micro. This episode is sponsored by Ingram Micro's President's Club. B2B Tech Talk is a joint production by Sweetfish Media and Ingram Micro. Ingram Micro production handled by Laura Burton and Christine Fan. To make sure you never miss an episode, subscribe today in your favorite podcast player.